Hari Om. Can you hear me? Hope it reaches. सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Today at 7:25, I thought it would be a unique experience. I thought I would be speaking to empty space. But luckily, it just got filled. We are in the 9th mantra. Repeat after me. Ekadantam chaturhastam pashamankushadharinam radam chavaradam hastair बिभ्राणं मूषकध्वजम् रक्तं लम्बोदरं शूर्पकर्णकम् रक्तवाससम् रक्तगन्धानुलिप्ताङ्गम् रक्तपुष्पैः सुपूजितम् भक्तानुकम्पिनं देवम् जगत्कारणमच्युतम् आविर्भूतं च सृष्ट्यादौ प्रकृतेः पुरुषात् परम् एवं ध्यायति यो नित्यम् स योगी योगिनां वरः। before we get into the seriousness of all this upasana, every time I chant this mantra, I remember my Malayali friends. The reason, they have a uniqueness in chanting this particular mantra. All through my ashram when I was studying and growing up, I would use this to teach them. Because the way they would chant this would be amazingly unique. Because they don't have Rama, they have Rema. The Ra becomes a Re. So imagine so many Ras in this particular mantra. It will be hilarious to hear them. Rectam Lembodaram Shurpakarnakam Rektavasasam Rektagandhanuliptangam. So every time I read this mantra, it brings a different smile to my face. But anyway, that is not what we need to meditate upon. Yesterday we saw Mooladhara Sthitosi Nityam, that Lord Ganesha, who is ever residing in the Mooladhara. Mooladhara is the origin of the Kundalini Shakti, and this Kundalini Shakti is often depicted by a serpent-like structure coiled in the Mooladhara, and that is awakened through this upasana. And the upasya daiva of Mooladhara is always Ganeshji. That Mooladhara is represented by a 4-petaled lotus which is in red color. And then right in the middle of that lotus, where the stalk comes, it is illumining red bright color. Like when there is a piece of steel or piece of steel or iron in the coal burning, the kind of color that it acquires, that kind of depth of color, deep burning amber color. So that form has to be visualized. And visualizing that form, we need to also make sure that it is not a static form of an idol. In imagination. So instead of imagining Lord Ganesha there in a static form in this color, we have to imagine that Lord Ganesha is alive. Upasana gets its bala, its strength, when the upasaka worships the upasya daiva, the one who is being worshipped, as though he were right in front of you. And this invocation has a speciality in it. How should it be meditated? Not that that particular form of Ganesha is in Mooladhara, but to enlarge the visualization of that Ganesha in such a way, originating from there, but enveloping the entire body. So huge that Lord Ganesha should be assumed, imagined, visualized. That in that Ganesha, we imagine that Ganesha from our Mooladhara, but then blow it up to such a huge form of Ganeshji that we are like a small tiny bit in that Ganesha. The reason that this has to be visualized that way, that each one of us has a huge identity with regards to the body, mind and intellect, and the various modifications of our own body, mind and intellect. That the moment we close our eyes, we can visualize who we are, what we are, because of the strength of association with our body, mind and intellect. Upasana is prescribed as a valid means and a necessary means to everyone because of our identification with our sthula sharira. That identification is weakened when the upasaka, the meditator, meditates himself as a tiny speck and strengthens the visualization of the Lord instead of the Deha. This intense strengthening of the image of the Lord weakens the identification with the body. Hence, therefore, however ideologically we may be intellectual, every seeker should start from the meditation of their Ishtadaiva so that it can finally weaken the strong identification with the body. Every saint, every Mahatma has often started with the first prayer that, O Lord, weaken this strong association with my body. For example, if you look into Hanuman Chalisa again, right in the beginning, in the first two chaupais, Sant Goswami Tulsidas ji very beautifully portrays there. He says, Buddhi-hina tanu janike. Oh Lord, I may have educated myself in various formats, in various levels, but I consider myself still as buddhi-hina. Why? If I were really intelligent, then I would not consider myself as tanu. Tanu meaning body. But I still consider myself as this tanu, this body. So I consider myself still, the tiny steps of a beginner in this field of spirituality. Hence, therefore, please help me weaken that identification with the body. So upasana is a necessary means. And how should that form be meditated upon? That beautiful form is explained here. That form of Ganeshji with glowing red color, enlivened with our visualization. How is he? Ekadantam chaturhastam pashamankushadharinam. Ekadantam. That who is, usually the elephants have two tusks. Few years ago, I had gone to one particular temple. This is in coastal Karnataka, a place called Idagunji. There, Lord Ganesha, that is the only place I believe, where Lord Ganesha is in a Bal form, young little Ganeshji with two tusks. Everywhere else we will find him with one tusk only. And there you will find him with two tusks. And the story goes, this is before he fought the Asura, wherein he had done with all his astras. The final thing that he used was his tusk. He breaks it and then uses it as an astra. Multi-purpose utility. There is another version of it, that when Vyasji was dictating Mahabharata, Ganeshji was the scribe. He was scribing it. He was writing it. The pen that was being used the nib broke. So Ganeshji was at a loss. The deal was he could not stop writing. So instantly he thought of the multi-purpose tool. So he broke his tusk and started writing with it. There are various stories that go in as to why he lost one tusk. But the point is, he is still left with the other tusk, indicating that our focus should always be on one tattva alone. Give mind more than one, it will always be distracted. At any given point of time, our mind can function in processing one thought, one theme alone. More than one, the multitasking that we talk about does not work. Because at any given point of time, at any given moment, there is only one processing that the mind is capable of. Keep it single focused. And the truth that has to be learnt or experienced is that indivisible one truth alone, indicated through the tusk. Ekadantam. So sometimes when I think about this, is the Rishi talking about the existing tusk or the broken tusk? Ekadantam, when there are only two. So whenever we meditate on that which is rather than that which is not. So definitely he is talking about the tusk which is. Ekadantam. Chaturhastam. He has 4 hands. The typical style. 2 hands are in this position. I have my own interpretations for it. Whenever we, in front of him, carry different masks, as if he does not understand what we are carrying, so Bhagavan has the indicator on. This is tham zara, stop. Don't try to fool me. And this, pude chala. Keep moving forward. Move it, man. We'll come to the meaning in the next sentence. He has 4 hands, 2 in Vara Abhaya, and the other 2 he is carrying Pasham Ankusham Dharinam. Pasham Ankusha Dharinam. Pasha, he is holding a noose. That is one of his Shastra. And the other hand, he is holding a Ankusha. Ankusha is a weapon with which you control the elephant. If you have seen a mahout sitting on the elephant, there is a sharp-edged tool that they carry with which they point at the head of the elephant to give it instructions. So he is carrying both Pasha as well as Ankusha. Pasham Ankusham Dharinam. See, our mind needs that constant nudging. As we deal with our children, so too we have to deal with our own mind. Constantly keep reminding, constantly keep pushing, constantly keep indicating it to the right direction. High possibility that we don't focus, we don't tend to this mind. It can easily go wayside. So constantly we have to keep nudging it towards the path. Even while sitting here, high possibility that it is BP, body present. MA, mind absent. It happens. And I can very clearly see it also. The vacant eyes. I'm not making it up. One day I should actually record it from this side. I have that urge, over a period of time, record all that and then make slideshow of it. हमारे श्रोता या सोता? It does happen when you are trying to focus on something, the mind tends to get distracted. Slightest distraction, it can go off. So constantly the ankusha is used to nudge it back into the track. In Bhagavad Gita's language, Shanai Shanai Ruparamet Buddhya Dhrati Grihitaya. Current 6th chapter that we are learning. In the next sentence it says, Yato wherever Manaha Chanchalam Asthiram is wavering and keeps moving here and there. Tataha then and there. Pull it back into the track. How? By constantly pointing it towards that focal point again and again. Ankusham. Ankusha also means that which disciplines, that which is restricting it. Rather restriction, I would use it as that which is disciplining it. Ankusham means disciplining. Like the horses are yoked. Pasham. Keep it constantly in a consistent mode. Rather than allowing it to speed whenever it feels like, slow down whenever it feels like. Keep it at a consistent, comfortable pace. Moving constantly towards the goal. Pasham Ankusham Dharinam. He is always carrying dharana to carry. The other two hands, these are the rare hands. Why are they rare hands? Not because they are in the rear, because you rarely see them. The usual two hands that we normally see, Radam cha Varadam cha. See the beauty of even that Sanskrit, the way the poetry is flowing here. Radam, fearless. Varadam, constantly eager to give direction, eager to bless. Vara, boon. The one who is ready to give. Fearless and constantly ready to give the boon that the devotee deserves. Hastaihi bibhranam mushakadhvajam. Mushakadhvajam. This is how the hands are. Hastaihi bibhranam. This is the mudra of the hands. And then on the side, there is dhvaja. A dhvaja, a flag. See, all these gods have their insignia. Customized, personalized. And what is the dhvaja of Lord Ganesha? The dhvaja of Lord Ganesha carries the insignia of a mouse. That's also quite indicative actually. See, whenever we think about our mind, are we really proud of our mind? The way it behaves today, we want to pack it and hide it somewhere underneath. yuck, go inside. And many times I wonder at the Creator's creation, glad He has not created the forehead with a transparent LCD, displaying every thought that goes by in our mind. And what would have happened? We would have never had a smiling face in front of us. Because we know what happens in our mind. The mind which is unattended to and lives unconsciously, we are not proud of. But once when it is trained, that becomes our powerful tool. Bandhuratmatmanastasya. It is our own friend. And once we know how to train it and lead it consciously, consistently, then you don't mind carrying that mind. Because there is no more dirt in it. Dirt of unconscious existence is removed. That it becomes our pataka. See, when do you fly a flag? Whenever there is victory. When do you have victory? When the mind is consciously controlled, attended to, and used in the right direction. Such mind reaches to victory, and that is what is Mushaka Dhwajam. The Mushika there representing our mind. Have you seen a rat? A mouse? Of all those breed. Have you ever seen it constant? At least the squirrel, sometimes you can find it constant. The moment it senses danger, it stops. Rat, mouse, constantly running here and there. And how do you keep it focused? Keep the clarity of purpose of life right in front of it. Keep it constantly, consistently conscious. And then it takes us towards pataka, the victory. And what is the greatest definition of success? Success is not in accomplishing various goals in the material world. They will anyway come. Nachiketa says it very beautifully to Yamaraja. Why do I need to ask for all these paltry boons? You would anyway give it to me. You would not send me back empty-handed. So why should I worry about these things? Teach me that which is important. So we need not focus on these things. The true definition of success is that day when I have in abundance. That day when I have in abundance happiness which I am not afraid that I lose. That day is called the heights of success. Long time ago, almost 22 years ago, I read it. In the Reader's Digest, on the front page itself they have quotations. In fact, that was the first time that I ever read a Reader's Digest, so I picked it up. I don't remember who the author or who is it that who said it, but I remember the quotation. Busy running on the ladder of success, after having reached its final step, many of us find that the ladder was on the wrong wall. That we do reach to a certain height. Having reached there, there is no tripti, there is no contentment. That would not define success. Success is when you have that completeness within, the unshakable completeness wherein you can go out into the world and not be fearful that you lose it. And to that path, to that end, the mind, a trained mind, a consistent mind, a conscious mind, that mind is the key. Mushakadvajam. Now this is the physical description. So how is his face? He has one tusk and he has 4 hands. 2 hands are in the Vara Abhaya. Radam Varadam. 2 hands are Pasham Ankusha Dharinam. And then he says the color, the hue is Raktam. Raktam, it does not mean here blood. Raktam means red. What kind of red? One Mahatma had told me that it is the red color of the iron which has been heated up. That bright red color. Burning amber color. Raktam. Lamba Udaram. Lamba Udaram. Lamba sa pet. Bada pet. Huge stomach. The huge stomach is also very, very significant. He has the stomach to take it all. We also use it quite regularly in our English vocabulary. I don't think you have the stomach for it. Meaning, you can't handle it. Life throws various things at us as experiences. None of the experiences come our way which is unjustified. Whenever it got triggered, we were the ingredient, active ingredient in triggering it this far. There is no point running away from it or shying away from it or avoiding it. Increase your aptitude to accept it all. Lamba Udaram, stomach it all. Depth of personality wherein you can take it all. Consume all these experiences without shying away from it. Lambodaram. Shurpa Karnakam. In India, that device is quite necessary. That is used to sort small little pebbles and other things from the rice and the other grains. Or the other way around. Depends on how much of it is mixed in. So there is, it is winnowing. So you use it, it has to be an art, okay? So the principle is when you have the contents of that grain with its impurity, you throw it up in the air with such a rhythm that that which is the lighter particle falls off the board and that which is heavier stays back. So one aspect of winnowing is all the husk and the dry particles lighter than the grains are thrown away. Later part of the winnowing is the grains are thrown into a secured place and all the other dirt which is heavier or the stones which are heavier are retained in the winnowing. When it becomes impossible to segregate even that, then it is a very small quantity, then you start sorting it out with your hand. So that instrument is called Shurpa. I mean, it says in Ramayana that Ravana's sister had that kind of nails, French manicure. Had to say it. Big nails. Shurpa Nakha. But here, he has two big ears. God has constructed us very beautifully, very indicatively. He has given us two listening instruments, listening portals, and one speaking portal. Meaning what? Listen twice more than you speak. Listen attentively. And we have already seen Bhadram Karane Vishnunayama Deva. Copy that and paste here. Listening attentively. Shurpa. Big ears. In the Hasta Samudrika Lakshana, looking at the body and its various parts, there is a science. You can tell what kind of a person that can be. So there is a description for somebody who is very attentive. They usually have big ears. They pay more attention to the details. Shurpa Karnakam. They are ready for all knowledge from any direction possible. The Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, it has a motto, and they say, Ano Bhadra Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha, taken from the Vedas. May I be attentive and alert, that may I listen to all kinds of goodness from everything that is thrown at me. May I listen to them that keen attention oriented. Shurpa Karnakam. And then, this is a Upasana. So in the Upasana, there are some specifications. When you like certain things, and it is made specially for you that day, don't you feel happy? Kuch to bolo. I know you are meditating on Ganeshji, but sometimes participate. Similarly, to know what is liked by your Ishtadeva, what does Ganeshji like? Rakta Vasasam. He likes red clothes. Vasasa means cloth. He likes red clothes. Rakta Vasasam. So he has a two-piece. So whenever we offer in the puja, it is called Vastra Yugmam. There are two pieces given, one to cover the lower part and other to cover the upper part. And I explain it to the kids here. I say, Lord also loves to wear two-piece suit. Two pieces, right? So two pieces which are red in color. Matching, huh? Not upper red in one color, the other in different shade. We're both matching. Rakta Vasasam. Rakta Gandhanuliptangam. Lipta Angam. His entire body is smeared, Liptam. With what? Rakta Gandham. chandana that is mixed with kumkuma. It does not mean that it is the red sandalwood. Red sandalwood is actually a non-fragrant sandalwood variety which is used for construction purposes. So it is not that chandana. It is this chandana, sandalwood, with a kumkuma added into it, red color added into it. He loves that color and he is smeared it, that also artistically. When we do that worship, it sometimes feels really hurtful to see. When you stand in front of the mirror to apply, do you ever apply like, take that chandan and then a little kumkuma on that, no, it is proportionate, artistically put, right in the middle, not leaning this side, not leaning that side, rightly put. Don't we do that? Once in a Balavihar camp, just to make them understand the proportionality, there were 400 kids. This was back in Bombay. Instead of putting this chandan here, I put it here. This whole thing vacant, I put it here, on the left temple. And that day I went, sat down. I did not give them an opportunity to smile, laugh or anything. As soon as I entered, I just sat down, closed my eyes, Om, I started. The Sahanavavatu done, then Akhanda Mandalakaram. By the time I reached to Sthavaram Jangamam Vyaptam, the kids could take it no longer. They were all like bursting out loud, giggling and giggling and giggling, looking at each other. You know how once you start that domino effect, and it is impossible for them to stop. At that moment, it's very hard to put that straight face, and everybody is laughing, and you know why they're laughing. With a very straight face. I looked at everybody and then I said, And then I continued. By the time I reached to Chinmayam, the next shloka, there was this kid, brave one. He says, Swamiji, we cannot do it anymore, okay? You look funny. I said, okay. Experiment reached its purpose. So I said, okay, we'll stop the Guru Stotram here. You tell me, why does it look funny? It is not proportionate. Is it that it is not proportionate, or is it because you have been accustomed to seeing it on here, therefore it looks funny? I said, no, we appreciate proportionality. So when you go and offer it to the Lord, why do we make it little vikara? You go so much. Make it little artistically so that it is presentable. But if our upasana is that Lord is sitting right in front of him, can we do that kind of an alankara? That it is displeasing to the eyes? Nice tilaka. And with the chandana background, a light kumkuma on it. It stands out. And it is very beautiful, pleasing to look at. And then on the body, from the the wrist upward, there is the chandana going. From both the wrists. And then on the chest, there is the beautiful alankara of the chandana. So Rakta Gandhanu Liptangam, artistically, very beautifully smeared, is the chandana. And then he loves Rakta Pushpaihi Supujitam. He loves red colored flowers. What is this, Swamiji? So much of red? No contrast. What to do? He likes it that way. You can build contrast. So you can have the, pinkish plumeria. Start from there. To the bright red, deep, velvety red roses. So various shades of red. A nice pushpamala. And then not just pushpamala, even the namavali which is offered, supujitam. A different, bhava offered just with the hands gesture, that bhava is denoted. When we are worshipping the Lord, you don't throw. The upper hand movement is done for somebody who is younger than us, to whom we are blessing. So the akshata is taken and then blessed upon, wishing them well, who is younger than us. When it is to the Lord, it has to be this way, not this way. I mean, if you do the tarpana, shraddha, you'd neither do this way nor this way. It has to be done this way. It denotes. So when you are offering it to the Lord, don't throw it at Him. Sometimes I feel I should make the one worshipping the Lord sit down just for the sake of it. So bad beta. And then take the flower, akshata, and then throw it at their face. You would not want it yourself. It is not throwing few flowers there. You are beautifully arranging that flower arrangement. Sometimes symmetric, sometimes asymmetric. But to bring out the beauty. Especially women from India, they wear flowers on their forehead. And if you are doing the Bharatanatyam, the Arangetram, though most of them they use the fake flowers, so there is a whole Chandrakara. So there is, green, there is white, there is red, there is that, light orangish. And then the plates covered with symmetric arrangement. Asymmetric arrangement. Sometimes on the ear. But whatever is the arrangement, you are trying to bring out the beauty. Similarly, the arrangement of flowers should be in such a way that my mind does not seek anything else to focus on. Right away, right there, I can focus on. So when we are offering the Ashtottara, don't be in a rush. You don't have to catch a flight. You don't have to run away somewhere. Om Ajaya Namaha. Om Avyayaya Namaha. Arrange it in a beautiful manner. Don't just put a heap. And sometimes the heap is organized in such a way that the Lord is also not seen. Poor fellow is crying, bachao. In a devotional fervor, we even forget that. Where is Lord? Honge kahi andar. Somewhere deep inside. When the Abhisheka is performed, when you pour water, how many of you use warm water for your shower? Just give me a head count. Raise your hands. Wow. 99%. Right? Poor God. Panchamrita Abhisheka. And the milk taken just from the refrigerator and poured. Imagine he is there he's sitting. And sometimes it really feels bad. Janmashtami, the bhava is that Krishna who is just born and you are doing the Abhisheka. How careful. Now what kind of milk? Cold milk on the poor baby. Do with some bhava that he is there. Rakta pushpaihi supujitam. Supujitam with the bhava that the Lord is present there. To understand this Supuja, I think it is October 8th, next, at Chitrakoot, we will be doing Shiva Manasa Puja, explaining as to how exactly to do the puja, whether physical or manasa. I'll speak more about it in detail then. Supuja. Do it with that bhava shuddhi. And then how is that Lord? In spite of our inadvertent mistakes. In the Arati, we have at the end, Yat kinchit mantra lope, tantra lope, yantra lope, kriya lope, shraddha lope, naivedyadi vihita lope cha. While chanting that, if there is a lopa, he will protect you. That is why at the end we say, Kara charana kritam va kayajam. Every instrument is listed there. Vihitam avihitam. Sarvam kshamasva. I know I am not perfect. Trying to reach there. Don't look at my actions. Look at the intentions behind the actions. Please forgive me. That is why he is here said, Bhakta nukampinam devam. Anukampinam. Endowed with kampa. Kampa means compassion. Probably the word compassion comes from kampa. Bhakta anukampinam. Ever thinking about his devotee. There is a story that Narada goes. I have never found this in any Shastra or scripture, but these Kathakars, they make it very interesting. So Narada was little, jealous that Hanumanji was getting a special quota from Bhagwan. So just to clarify, he went to the Lord. Bhagwan, I am sure you have a list of people who ardently devote themselves to you. Do you have the list of top 20? So Bhagwan said, yeah. Can you please show it to me? Can you give it to me? He said, I have given the order to the Wi-Fi, it will print out. So he takes a printout and a first name, Narada. He looks at the rest of the 20 names, there is no Hanuman. So he rushes to Hanuman and says, you see this? Oh, good for you. American language, that one sent, I like it. It's so non-committal. Good for you. It can be used in any sense, any intention. So Hanumanji said, good for you. I am glad to see that you are the first one there. No, I am also glad. But there is your name is not there. So Hanumanji looked at it, true. And then, Naradji raised his eyebrows. So Hanumanji leaned towards Naradji and said, do you know, there is a second secret list with the Lord. What? Really? And Narada went back to and said, what is the other list that Hanuman was talking about? I asked you about a list and you did not give me a truthful answer. Bhagavan said, oh, wait. Whatever is happening between you and Hanuman, don't drag me in. You asked me for the top 20 devotees who love me. And I gave you. So what was the other list that Hanumanji was asking? Was that top 10 people that I love. See how great must be that individual. Because all of us claim at different levels, different stages, different shades, I love God. But how many does the Lord consider? I love you. Because He is always ready. Bhakta anukampinam. Always ready to shower His compassion. And poor Lord, in the Kali Yuga, he is constantly in the Nidra Avastha. Nidra Avastha, sleeping mode. The Vishnu, when you read the Dhyana Shloka, what is the Dhyana Shloka? Bhujaga Shayanam. He is constantly sleeping. Why? No work. There is no devotee who loves the Lord such implicitly that he has to take care. Whenever the list, somebody comes to that list, then he will start. Anukampinam. Otherwise, the nature will take care. Bhaktanukampinam Devam. He is the Lord who is ever ready to shower His blessings on the devotees. Jagat Karanam Achyutam. He is the cause, Karana, of the entire Jagat. And what is the nature of this Jagat? That which is never permanent. That is the nature of Jagat. And our Akhandanandji has a very good definition of Jagat. Jagat kya? जो जग 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 चमकता रहता है वो जगत. That which is constantly changing and shining and appears to be shining, that is Jagat. That whose nature is Chuta. Chuta meaning that which is constantly changing. And how is the Lord? Who is the support? Achyuta. That who is constantly upholding, because He is the permanent substratum. From such permanent substratum, avirbhutam cha srishtyadau. The entire srishti, srishtyadau, avirbhutam, expresses, manifests forth, avirbhutam. And with regards to this prakriti, prakritehe, with regards to this prakriti, Purushat Param. There is the creator and he is supreme beyond even that creator. Because the creator also is supported by this Parabrahma Paramatma. Purushat Param. Evam, like this. When we close our eyes, meditate on that visualized live form of Lord Ganesha, wherein he is bigger than the biggest, and in front of him I am a tiny speck. And that Ganesha who is Ekadantam chaturhastam pashamankushadharinam radam chavaradam haster vibhranam mushakadhvajam raktam lambodaram shurpakarnakam raktavasasam raktagandhanuliptangam raktapushpai supujitam bhaktanukampinam devam jagatkaranamachyutam avirbhutancha sastyadau prakrite purushat param. Thus dhyayati yaha nityam. Those who meditate on this kind of Ganesha rooted in the Mooladhara, such yogi, saha yogi, yoginam varaha, is the most blessed one. And for them, pretty soon the channels clear up and the energy surges forth directly to the Sahasrara. And then what is the meditation? So the meditative forms of Lord Ganesha, it is said in the 10th mantra, Namo Vratapataye, Namo Ganapataye, Namah Pramathapataye, Namaste Stulambodarayekadantaya, Vignanashine, Shivasutaya, Shri Varadamurtaye Namaha. Namo Vratapataye. See again, Namaha. There is no Aham Namaskaram Karomi. Salutations offered with humility unto whom? Vratapati. 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 Any endeavor taken to accomplish a certain righteous goal can be called as a vrata. Vratapati, the one who blesses for the accomplishments of these different goal-oriented endeavors. The one who strengthens me to accomplish it. Such one is Lord Ganesha, referred to here as Vratapati. Vratapati, the one who is the Lord of all endeavors. All actions lead to that Paramatma alone. Such should be the offering. So if we start with that attitude, that may I be able to offer every single action that I perform as an act of devotion, as an act of worship to my Paramatma. Can I do anything unrighteous? Thought, word or deed? Such one invoked is called Vratapati. Namo Ganapataye. Salutations to that Ganapati. We saw 3 meanings in the beginning. Namo Pramathapataye. Pramathapati. The one who destroys. Destroys what? That has to be very clear. The one who constantly destroys the ego. Oh Lord, I am so hurt. Bhagavan says, congratulations. See, one of the names of Shiva is called Rudra. Rodayati iti Rudraha. The one who makes you cry. As long as we cry, it indicates. What does it indicate? There is still that crier left. Who is it that is crying? The ego. But Swamiji, I do so many vratas, so many things. Why? Just to make you identify that you are still wound up in limitations. And it is the ego that feels hurt. I'm so hurt. Who is that which is hurt? It is the ego. Pramathapati mercilessly destroys that ego. Think about it. If you are invoking Ganeshji, what is his main purpose? To destroy. Who? The one who is invoking. Are you ready? Do you have the courage? Don't worry. If you do not have that courage, seek that courage from Him. Oh Lord, I am starting this, but I don't know if I can withstand the test. You give me the strength to withstand it. Namo Namastestu Lambodara Ekadantaya. Whatever tests you give, because you are Lamba Udara, you know how to take it. Give me that strength to go through life without wavering, without that devotion shaking. Let me have that capacity to accept it. And let me never waver. Ekadanta. Stay focused. See how beautifully they are arranged. We just keep chanting. One of my Swamijis, I think I said it the other day. Namaste, namaste. Kuch nahi samajhte. We keep doing namaste, namaste. Lambodharaya, Ekadantaya, Vighna. Some people chant it as Vinashine or Vighna Nashine. The Pathantara is fine. Both mean the same. The one who destroys. And what is the greatest Vighna? Not the outside obstacles. It is this stupid little entity called ego. Whose? My own. Oh, Swamiji, it is yours. No, let me make it clear. Each one for themselves. Vighna Vinashine, Shiva Sutaya. The one who is the son of the auspicious one. Lord Shiva. Shri Varada Murtaye Namo Namaha. That Varada Murti, Varada, the one who is ready to bestow, give the ultimate. Who is the richest man today? Gates guy? Still? He is no more. I am talking of somebody who is existent. Whoever it is. To such a person you go, and what do you ask for? Can I have a lollipop? It is ridiculous even to ask a lollipop. What do you ask of Ganesha? Nothing less than the highest truth. O Lord, bless us with that highest knowledge. Whatever in between happens, give me the strength to go through it. Let me not shy away from my life. Give me the strength. Varadamurtaye Namo Namaha. Thus, every day, before the day can begin, sit down. And after having done the physical puja, then close your eyes and then visualize this Ganesha and be in that Ganesha, that visualization. For that matter, any form of the Lord which is your Ishtadaiva is fine. Visualize it. That you are an the insignificant speck there, and the Lord is so beautiful. And such meditator, such upasaka gets bestowed the final ultimate knowledge. Most of them would stop here. Whether it is Vishnu Sahasranama, Lalita Sahasranama, whenever there is Falashruti, the neo-intelligent, the recently intelligent, that's what neo-intelligent means, take it as their authority to cut short and say, no need to read Falashruti. There is a tradition. You know this knowledge now. This knowledge may help someone if you know what it is beneficial for. It is like going through the entire medicine, medical college, medical school, not knowing what medicine to give when. Why Falashruti? Does it make sense? So the mantra is like a formula. When and how it can be applied. You may not use it for sakama. But if need be that somebody is in need, you can guide them. Provided you know. One generation skips the Falashruti. Do you think the next generation will even know what that Falashruti is? See, when I came 10 years ago, I said, Guru Stotram takes, such a long time. It eats away 7-8 minutes. We should just chant the first 3 shlokas and Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvam, because everybody knows it. But yeah, this year they know it. 1 year down the lane, they will not. It is an offering to the entire Guru Parampara and it will not be cut short. Similarly, the Falashruti also has to be learnt. Whether you use it for Sakama or Nishkama is your choice. But it is a Siddha mantra. Siddha mantra, an accomplished mantra, which can be used in various places. Where all can it be used? That is given in the next few mantras. I'll not go into detail. I'll just go into word by word meaning of it. This you don't repeat after me. Etad atharva shirsham yodhite. Etad, this atharva shirsha, yaha, those, adhite, those who study, those who understand what this atharva shirsha means. It is a direct path to Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, to reach that highest Parabrahma Paramatma. If you meditate on this and use the Upasana technique, it will directly lead the Upasaka towards that Parabrahma Paramatma. Saha, such one who has reached to that highest state. Sarvataha, in all times and spaces, meaning in every experience. Sukham edhate, experiences unlimited bliss. saha sarva vignairna badhyate. For such person, nothing becomes an obstacle. It does not mean that that person will never have obstacles. There will be obstacles. But nothing can weigh them down. Nothing can pull them down. Saha sarva vignaihi na badhyate. Sa panchamaha papaat pramuchyate. They get liberated from 5 major sins. There are various, definitions of what those 5 sins are. Panchamahapataka. I may not go into the detail of that Panchamahapataka, but most of us do it. Not following dharma. Which includes swadhyayas, which includes, puja, upasana, dana dharma. Dana dharma is also a part of swadharma. And we very, flamboyantly say, Swamiji, our scriptures never speak about, giving. Our scriptures, go refer to Taittiriya Upanishad. Shraddhaya deyam. I don't have Shraddha. Ashraddhaya api deyam. Who cares if you don't have Shraddha? Give. Dana dharma is also a part of Swadharma. Swadharma as described by Varna, Ashrama, Vyavastha, Paristhiti. One has to understand that and apply it diligently. First one. Never kill, never steal, never lie. 4 given. Follow Swadharma. Never kill, never steal, never lie. And then the 5th one, which in various versions have kept it consistently. They say, never kill a cow. Worship cow. Meaning what? Be a vegetarian. Don't make your stomach a graveyard for dead bodies. Worship that cow. Because every aspect of that cow is in serving the rest of the humanity. Even the cow dung and the cow urine has medicinal quality. What to talk of the rest of the cow? The 5th one is Gohatya dosha. Not killing a cow. Panchamaha papa at pramuchyate. If by mistake you have already done all 5 of them, this Ganesha Upasana, wherein the Bhakta has taken the sankalpa to never commit these 5 mistakes again. Or else what is it? Oh, Ganeshji will protect me. I keep doing it. So here it says, Sayamadhiyano divasakritam papam nashayati Prataradhiyano ratrikritam papam nashayati Sayam pratah prayunjano papo apapo bhavati. Meditate on this entire mantra of Ganesha Atharva Sirsha. Sayam adhinaha. Meditate on it. It will ensure that you do not commit any papa during the day. Meditate on it in the night so that you are constantly focused, that you are relieved of all this papa. I am giving you a totally different meaning. It does not mean that you do papa in the morning and in the night you chant it, all the papa of the day is gone. Read it in the morning, all the night papa is gone. Now I am redefining the meaning here. Meditate on it so that it keeps us focused on our dharma and we do not commit any mistakes that we have to regret for. Such blissful, unregretful life, this will help us lead. Those who read it, meditate in the morning, those who meditate in the evening, those who meditate both in the morning and in the evening. So you have choices, 3 choices. Choose the best. Those who do it in the morning, those who do it in the evening, those who do it both morning and evening. Morning so that it gives us enough energy, strength and willpower to go through the day. Evening so that I have an opportunity to thank him for having provided that day. Sayam prataha prayunjano. Yunjati to those who put this effort of meditating both morning and evening. Papaha apapo bhavati. There will never be a situation wherein you would commit something which would become papa. This assures us of that. It is not just mere chanting. That is why I am not interpreting it as adhinaha doesn't mean just chanting. Or else we all are experts at it. Om Namo Ganapataye, done. 2.5 minutes, the chanting is done. Lord, take care. No, meditate on it. Consciously be aware of it. And such person, sarvatra adhiyano apavignaha bhavati. Whenever they get an opportunity, it is not just in the morning and evening or morning and evening, but whenever you find those pockets of free moments, those who meditate on this tattva indicated by this Upanishad, apavignaha bhavati. Such person, there is nothing that can stop them. There is no obstacle that can pull them down, weigh them down. Such person would definitely fulfill dharma, artha, kama, mokshancha vindati. Will fulfill all the chatur phala purusharthas. You know, those people who say, I don't like the rituals or ritual part, I like the philosophy part. I think a few days ago I had a revelation. It hit me pretty clearly. It is because the philosophical part talks about moksha. The rest of the rituals talk about dharma, artha, kama. How does the artha and kama be dharma oriented? That we don't like. Hence, therefore, I don't believe in rituals, you know. I believe in philosophy. All 4 have to be fulfilled. Those who are not ready to think about their fellow beings, what moksha can they achieve? Can you imagine? Those who cannot empathize, only sympathize. तुम्हारे चुच्चू करने से कुछ नहीं होता. Grow, strengthen yourself in which that you can really participate and be of help to someone. So all four purusharthas are fulfilled. Vindate. And then this is for the teachers, especially. Idam atharva shirsham ashishyaya nadeyam. Don't give this Atharva Shirsha Upanishad to Asishya. Uh-oh. Why? What happens? Yo yadi mohad dasyati. Whoever the teacher gives this Upanishad unwittingly, mohad, deluded. What happens? Sapapiyan bhavati. That teacher acquires the papa of all the students who have heard it and not applied it properly. Not just the ones who are physically sitting here, those who are listening to it online also. Oh, yo, Swamiji, then what about you? Don't worry. I have a covered insurance. A blanket cover or an umbrella insurance. Gurudev said, don't worry, I am there covering all of you, both that speaker and the listener. Meaning, don't misinterpret it and wrongly use it. Especially the Kundalini part and the Pranayama part. Sahasravartanadyam yam yam kamamadhite tam tamanena sadhayet. Do you desire for something great, righteous thing to be accomplished through you? If so, whatever is that sankalpa, state that sankalpa, sit in front of the Lord in one single sitting with the desire of fulfilling that particular sankalpa, righteous desire. Sahasra vartanadyam, avartana, repeating this mantra, this Siddha mantra. How many times? 1,000 times. This will tam tamanena sadhayet. You will be able to accomplish it. How much time does it take, Swamiji? At least 9.5 hours to chant 1,000 times. If you know it memorized. So if you have to read it through a book, I would suggest first memorize it and then go at it. Not otherwise. 2-3 दिन लग गए तो you can't get up from there. One single sitting. If not for anything, just for the Loka Kalyana, just for everybody's, kshema, I would urge everybody to do it at least once in a lifetime. Wake up early in the morning and then Sankalpa, one of the Chaturthi, the month. Preferably Ganesh Chaturthi. Once try to accomplish one single posture sitting, not to get up for anything, and chant it 1,000 times. I tell you, you will feel so satisfied. If you have memorized it, it takes 9.5 hours. Continuing, the Rishi says, Anena Ganapatim Abhishinchati Savagmi Bhavati. Those who consistently meditate on this aspect of Upanishad, they become Vakpati. eloquent speakers. Chaturthyam anashnan japati. If you can do the japa, the entire mala 108 times, every Chaturthi. How many times Chaturthi comes in a month? How many times? Twice. Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. So monthly, twice. 108 times. On Chaturthi. How? Anashnan. Nirjala. Matlab, you don't eat anything burnt. Jala hua kuch nahi khate. Nirjala means not even a sip of water. Anashnan japati. Savidyavan bhavati. He becomes a great erudite scholar. Sayashavan bhavati. And he is respected worldwide. Ityatharvana vakyam. So the Ganaka Rishi is saying, it is not just me. Even the Atharva Rishi, who is the disciple of Lord Surya himself, he has also vouched for it. Ityatharvana vakyam brahmadyavaranam vidyannabhiveti kadachaneti. Those who practice this Brahma Vidya, they are transported, they are removed from any sort of fear. Bibheti, na kadachaneti. They never have to fear anything in their life. Yo durvankurair yajati. Durvankura is not any kind of grass. It is the Durva grass, that also the tip of the grass. The top edge, 1 inch, 1.5 inch on the top. In this country it is called the Bermuda grass. In this country it is the it is the highest crop yielding nothing. Because every lawn is almost that. So that top 1.5 inch is called Durvankura. Ankura. Ankura, the tender leaves of the Durva grass. Yo Durvankurair yajati. Those who worship with that Durvankura. Savaishravano upamo bhavati. Vaishravana. Vaishravana is Lord of wealth. Who is the Vaishravana? Kubera. You become similar to Kubera in this very lifetime. On this earth. Meaning what? You would become the richest man on the earth. Savaishravano upamo bhavati. Yo lajair yajati sayashavan bhavati. Many prints say yashovan bhavati, but there is no usage of the word yasha as yashovan. It has to be changed to yashavan bhavati. Sayashavan bhavati. Laja means it is not puffed rice. It is not the murmura. But it is the popcorn version of rice. When it is still in the paddy, it is put in that hot oven-like thing and it puffs, it pops. So that is called laja. So even in the weddings, there is the laja homa. Do you remember? They use this. I know what it is called in Telugu, but I don't know in other languages. No, not puri. It is a different one. Ah, what did you say? Mala? Malar pori. That adjective has to be added. Pori means the murmura. Use it in the Ganapati Homam and other things. It is the popcorn version of rice. That is called Laja. So, yo Lajair Yajati. Those who worship Lord Ganesha with that form of rice, Sa Yashavan Bhavati, they become very, very respected. Sa Medhavan Bhavati, why are they respected? Because of their Medha Shakti. Medha Shakti, amazing capacity to remember everything and reproduce it when required. Samedhavan bhavati. Yo modaka sahasrena yajati savanchita phalamavapnoti. Those who offer 1,000 modakas. Modaka, if I had time, I would have gone into a lengthy description of how a modaka is prepared. There are two versions of it. One is a steamed one is a deep fried one. Both are fine with him. But the inner filling is the coconut and jaggery. And that is the filling inside. And the outside is either the rice, the cooked rice flour dumpling kind of a thing, which is steamed, sweet dumpling. And the other one is, they deep fry it. It can be used with, the outer cover can be anything, wheat or maida, you can use it. Haji? Yeah, it is also in Gujarati called as, once we made it here and distributed Gujiyas. So that is called the modaka. Usually it is circular shaped pointing upward. Sahasrena yajati. Those who worship with 1,000 of them offered to Lord Ganesha. What happens? Savanchita phalamavapnoti. Their desires are fulfilled. Soch lo. It is not market bought and given. You put the effort to make it and offer it yourself. Such one. And those who know cooking, just to make those 1,000, it takes a whole day effort. And then the whole evening effort distributing it to others. By that time, you would come to a conclusion, no desire is worth. That is how you transcend all desires. Yes, sajya samidbhir yajati sasarvam labhate. Those who offer it in the Havan, Yajna Karma, with this entire Ganapati Atharva Shirsha mantra, those who offer it with ghee and the sacred sticks. Sasarvam labhate. In fact, such people, when they speak something, it seems to happen. And these are the people who are men of few words. They don't speak at all. Ashtau brahmanan samyagrahayitva suryavarchasvi bhavati. You become famous when you write it down, with your own hands, not a printed version. You write it down and give it to, as a dana, you give it to 8 Brahmins. They become famous. With some dakshina also, okay? सूर्यग्रहे महानद्यां प्रतिमा सन्निधौ वा जप्त्वा सिद्ध मंत्रो भवति. सूर्यग्रहे, during the solar eclipse. So you take shower, sit down during the eclipse time when you chant this. Mahanadyam, some perennial rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Kaveri, Tungabhadra, these perennial rivers, when you sit down, take neck deep and stand there and chant this. Or in some great tirtha kshetras or temples, pratima sannidhau, in front of the sacred idol of these tirtha kshetras, when you chant it in the garbha griha, in the sanctum sanctorum, then this mantra becomes siddha mantra. You will accomplish that which you are supposed to accomplish in a lifetime as a human being, meaning you will realize. And the best is, during a Surya Grahana, on the banks of a live river or a perennial river, Punya Nadi, and every Punya Nadi has a temple. In the sanctum sanctum of the temple, when you do it, and it is said, when one Mahatma gave me the explanation, he said, Koti Phala, whatever is the benefit, it will be multiplied crore times, 10 million times. Go find. So in the end, it says, Mahavignaat pramuchyate, Mahadoshaat pramuchyate, Mahapapaat pramuchyate, Sasarvavid bhavati, Yayevam Veda ityupanishat. Mahavignaat pramuchyate. Where does it come? So, okay. I'll tell about it. Mahavignaat pramuchyate. All the great obstacles that the ego can bring in is removed. Mahadoshaat pramuchyate. The dosha of that ego, when it was existing, all the deeds that it has done, wrong deeds, that effect, the first one is the cause. It also removes the effect or reduces the effect. Mahapapaat pramuchyate. It protects from further sinning. Pratyavaya dosha is the sin of omissions. What is the sin of omission? That which had to be done and we did not do. That which had not to be done and we ended up doing. So both these kinds, which in that earlier shloka I mentioned, vihitam avihitam. So that dosha also is removed. And this is the Veda, this is the Upanishad. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So a great Upanishad with the Advaita Siddhanta, mantra and the Upasana in one sweet package. Not all Upanishads comes with this kind of a package. So it also gives us the method and the goal to reach. Hope, pray and wish that Lord Ganesha blesses each one of us to realize that tattva, that essence in this very life. Let us not delay. May He bless us that let us not delay it for any further lives. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। Today being the last day, you can bring in your Guru Dakshina and offer it here and do your Namaskar here. So Chamatkar here and Namaskar there.